I don't see it. I don't believe it.
You saw her, didn't you?
Things are happening
You hear that?
that should not be happening.
As they say, curiosity killed the cat.
I couldn't scream. I was frozen.
What you're about to watch is based on true events. Some details have been altered to protect confidentiality.
My name is Nina, and I work the night shift.
After a career in law enforcement, Nina returns to her hometown to fulfill a lifelong dream.
I'm the owner, manager of a historic inn located in a little mining town. It was a vacant building. It used to be a mine office for one of the local mines that closed. But it was originally an inn. I renovated it. I took it back to the early 1900 period, and I financed it with my own personal savings.
This is a big gamble. The once thriving mining town of Nina's youth isn't what it used to be.
It became a ghost town. All the businesses went out, and it's just your old-timers still living there.
The property Nina owns has a history.
There were so many ghost stories always being told. Many, many accidents in the mines, many deaths of people. I was well aware of it. It was a risk, but I believe in the town.
Too busy with hotel preparations, Nina and her right-hand woman have no time for the rumors.
Put that one up there, Chief.
My name is Trina, and I work the night shift.
Trina has been a very close friend of mine for years, and when I decided to go into this business venture, I asked Trina to come work with me.
With Trina's help, Nina is ready to open just in time for the holidays.
The first thing I experienced at the inn was around Christmas time when we were decorating.
So we put up this beautiful Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree had these bells on them.
You hear that?
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, oh my gosh, the bells started ringing.
I looked at Nina, and Nina looked at me, and I thought, this shouldn't be happening.
I looked around. There was no source of air conditioning, no source of heat coming up. Nobody came in the front door, but the bells would just ring. And I found it really strange, perplexing. And then they just stopped out of nowhere.
But then, something else grabs their attention.
The garland on the stairs that we just put up 10 minutes earlier, it started swaying in, out on the balustrade.
It scared me because it's like, okay, what's going on here? But I have no clue because there was no justification. It was the first experience that something just wasn't right in the building, or something just wasn't right, period.
With every passing night, nowhere in the hotel is safe from the strange behaviors.
things get moved around a bit. We sometimes put things down and turn around and they're not there when you go to pick them up. This is getting weird in here. Things are happening that should not be happening.
When you work a night shift, you are much more likely to experience a haunting because it's late and you're tired and you are revisiting the same location every night.
Nina can't shake the feeling that something is tracking her every move.
You always felt like you're being watched, as if there's a presence there, but you can't see anything. But you are being watched all the time in that building, and it would almost raise the hairs up on your back. And you don't know what's there, you don't know what's around, but there is definitely something.
Later that night, now alone, it gets more bizarre.
Hello?
On occasion, I would hear high-pitched wails throughout the building.
Hello?
Doors slamming, as if someone is walking around in the building. But at this time of night, everybody's out like a light. There's no excuse, no logical explanation for doors slamming, sounds like walking, screaming.
How did that make you feel when you heard them?
At night, and when you're by yourself and you're working a night shift, it scares you.
Nina can't find a rational explanation.
All the activity that's happening definitely signifies that this is a haunted location.
The next night brings a snowstorm and more.
It was a cold winter night, and the snow was coming in hard.
The roads are closed, forcing Nina and Trina to stay the night.
Weren't you scared?
We were uneasy.
It's something I can handle, because nothing was harmful. Scary, but nothing has ever been harmful.
No, true.
Hi, Nina. I'm in a sound sleep in the middle of the night. All of a sudden, I'm wakened by a sharp jolt. It wasn't just a tap, it was a jolt.
Nina, wake up. Wake up. Nina, wake up.
A string of frightening episodes puts hotel manager Nina and her assistant Trina on edge. And now, an entity only Trina sees visits them at night.
Nina, wake up.
I was sound asleep.
Nina, wake up. Wake up.
Nina awakes, but the presence is gone.
There was something, it banged the bed. There was someone in here.
I didn't see it, I didn't hear it.
And I said, it just banged the bottom of the bed and scared the living life out of me. Something's in the room. but nothing's in your room. So how do you explain that?
Trine, did you leave the door open? Of course I didn't.
The more you think about it, the more anxious you get. And the more you have to calm yourself down about it. It frightened me.
Let's get out of here, come on.
Nina believes her friend, so they search for an intruder on the security cameras.
I told myself that there was logical explanation.
But after reviewing the security footage, Nina doesn't know how to explain it.
When I watched those videos, nothing. Nobody entering, absolutely no movement of anybody coming in or out.
I don't see anything.
I can't justify what was going on.
Poltergeist hauntings are usually the type of hauntings that escalate in steps. You know, everything started off very small, bells jingling, objects moving, and then eventually the bed was shoved in the room. Poltergeist activity, it can potentially be dangerous.
I did not think anything would escalate. I just thought they were just subtle little things that I can blow off. But then my guests started complaining that there's odd things going on.
Couple more cancellations, Trine. This isn't looking good.
And it's like, what are we gonna do? I just don't know what to do.
Before anything can be done, it gets stranger.
I was going to take a snooze in the manager's room. But then out of the corner of my eye, something moved, and immediately you turn. I saw the tin fly right at her head.
It frightened me because I didn't know what was coming. I just saw something come flying past my head. I felt like I was a target.
Something did this to her and directed it right at her head. And it freaked me out. I'm telling you, it was like, oh my God, something's going on here.
What do you do about it?
Nothing. There's nothing I can do about it.
When Trina has tin cans being thrown at her, could possibly be a combination of an intelligent spirit and a poltergeist in this inn.
Trina's haunting the other night, and now this attack is too much.
Oh my God, I gotta get out of this building. It made me quite anxious. I had to go.
She reluctantly leaves, and now Nina is left alone to manage the inn.
I just want to close the door, get out, you know, because it's just too much. But I put out so much money, like my entire life savings. And, you know, it wasn't just my life savings. You know, my staff depended on me for employment. If I close, I'm going to lose big time.
Nina has no choice but to retire for the night.
I had just finished closing up the inn for the night, and I was tired. I went upstairs, time to go to bed, and I went into a good sleep. You're sound asleep, and yet you could almost know, as if you're awake, that something is there. Something is watching, something is there. I don't know. on my back, and I woke up and right at the end of my bed, something is standing there.
Nina is holding down the inn after an onslaught of strange disturbances sends Trina home.
I gotta get out of this building.
Nina's jolted awake in the middle of the night.
It was a man. I would definitely say he was dressed like a miner.
Did you try to scream?
I couldn't scream. Absolutely not. I was frozen. It felt like it was for minutes and minutes and minutes. It could have been seconds, but it just felt so long. It really scared the hell out of me. I now know something is in my building. This is serious. This is real. This is not my imagination anymore. Shut my eyes, hoping it would go away. And when I opened it, it was gone. And that was the ultimate experience for me. This scared me.
Nina has now experienced the same entity as Trina, face to face.
I get a phone call from Nina. She is very agitated. She has just had an apparition at the end of her bed.
I was so scared.
It was a man in miner's clothes, and it was very shocking for her. This was the first time Nina was targeted by the apparition.
I need you here, Trine. You gotta come.
Oh, you were beside yourself, yeah? It was something you weren't expecting.
All of the activity that happened in this inn seems to have sort of reached a climax when Nina physically saw a man in the room. The spirit of a miner is there in the inn with them. When you're experiencing a haunting and you are terrified, it only amplifies everything.
It appears that one miner who lost his life on the job is fixated on Nina's inn.
A residual haunting is usually when a spirit is sort of just replaying itself on a loop because it's imprinted its memory into the location.
After the big experience with that apparition at the end of my bed, I really didn't know what to do. I was lost. I was scared. It's like, oh my God. Now it's reality. It's true. I can't slough it off. I can't make excuses, justify anything that was going on. And it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? The worst thing I want out there is guests thinking that not only do we have potentially a spirit or ghost in the building, stay away. That's the worst negative I want. I want people to come to our place. I don't want them scared off.
If you thought your inn was haunted, why not just quit?
I don't want to go bankrupt. I don't want to lose everything I built. I love this business. I love this. I've got to figure this out.
Well, I was very concerned for her.
I put everything into this place. I can't lose my business.
There was a lot of money here on the edge, and she could not afford for this to go under.
These things I can't change. I can't fix.
Have to figure out how to run the business with the spirit.
I just turned the negative into a positive, and that was to start advertising as a ghostly inn. It's a mining town. It's like a Swiss cheese, basically, underground. All the tunnels were connected. We used to always tell each other stories that this ghost or that ghost or this robber or whatever used to, float through the tunnels. Probably goes through all those mine tunnels underneath, but he really centered on my building.
They won't give in to their fear anymore.
Being close friends and confidants, she always gave me the encouragement that I needed.
Hi, Hermie.
Hermie is what we started calling the ghost.
It just flew out one day. One of the times something happened, I says, "Oh, Hermie, just behave yourself. Just behave."
Okay, Hermie, cut it out.
Once we had him named, things really started to mellow out.
Nina and Trina decide to deal with their fear by giving the spirit a nickname. And this is a really good strategy.
Was the spirit less menacing?
It was better. All of a sudden, we had other guests that were coming in because they wanted their own experience with Hermie because they heard about him. So it became a very good marketing tool for us.
Full up again, Trine.
I asked the new owner if she has heard of or experienced any strange situations, and she said she hasn't experienced anything. So I think maybe when I left, Hermie left. My belief in the paranormal, with everything that I saw, I am a true believer, and I really believe in Hermie.
My name is Hector, and I work the night shift. It was my senior year in high school. I had actually caught up with all my credits, so I was able to get a job. I found out about a program at a hotel for overnight room service, and I figured, hey, why not? This is my first time working night shift.
Hector already knows a little bit about the hotel.
This hotel I went to work at had a history. I would hear stories about it being haunted. It's very famous.
But that doesn't faze him.
You could say I'm an unbeliever. I don't see it, I don't believe it.
That's about to change for the 18-year-old.
In the beginning of my shift, I was doing room service. My round was to go pick up the trays. The maintenance guys kept going on about it, what they've experienced.
Be careful. I'm cool.
I kind of, shrugged it off, just kept walking.
Hector has no time for distractions. He's got a busy night.
I was doing my rounds, and this was around 3 o'clock in the morning. I get a little eerie sense. A sense like somebody was behind me. Didn't see nothing.
But then, Hector sees something or someone.
There shouldn't be a little girl out in 3 o'clock in the morning. So as I ended up running down the hallway, and I looked down the hallways, didn't see her.
Security, do you see a little girl walking around on the second floor?
They're like, no, we just see you. How do you explain this happened? I was freaked out.
You saw her, didn't you?
The maintenance man, he got a hold of me and he was like, hey, he goes, you saw her, right?
Follow me.
The maintenance man leads Hector to a room that's hidden from the other hotel guests.
You gotta see this.
I looked in there. It was a little girl's room. Dolls from the top to the bottom. That is one of the biggest things that scare me. Like having all those eyes staring at you. Freaks you out, you know, it's intense, it's scary. That's when he told me, he's like, the little girl that you saw didn't run down the hallway. She went into the wall, into her room.
She's the daughter of the former owner. She died in the 1920s.
Only his little girl's room with the dolls is still originally intact because that's where she passed away in. She died because she was sick. That's where she was comfortable. That room, that hallway, that was her place.
I believe the little girl is attached to the room. Although there's a sense of creepiness with the dolls in the boarded up room, there's not a feeling of danger or malevolence with that. I don't think physically she could harm it. For one reason or another, spirits do stay around, and I think she chose to stay in a place where she was happiest.
The hotel is haunted.
Although the maintenance man believes in the paranormal, Hector has mixed feelings.
I knew what I saw was real, but the spirit stuff, is it true? Is it not true? At that moment, I figured, you know, hey, I gotta do my work. So I went back down to that second floor. I'd heard giggles. Again, I figured, hey, you know, again, being young, foolish, I didn't want to walk away. Oh. I was a little girl from that room. I froze. I just experienced a little girl, you know, finding out about her death. I didn't know what to do. She was very white, had brownish hair, curly at the ends. And she had like this 20s and 30s kind of dress. As soon as I saw her, she moved. I kind of felt like she was calling me, like she wanted me to follow her.
But Hector doesn't follow.
I took a different route. Instead of going down that hallway, I decided to go to the third floor.
Hoping he can finish his rounds in peace.
I'm young, you know, I'm 18 and, you know, brave and, you know, kind of foolish at that moment. So I didn't want to walk away. The third floor, it was quiet.
Although he tries to put on a brave face, Hector's on edge.
You get that creepy sense of feeling where you got the chills. At that moment, I hear a ding. So I stop and I kind of just, you know, kind of collect myself.
He's thinking it may be a late-night guest, so he goes and checks.
No one's there. Again, I hear a ding. And I'm hoping that a guest will come out. No guest comes out. I knew I was alone. I got chills and that feeling, that tingles all over my body. I remember just standing in front of that mirror and just seeing this woman behind me. Well, this is terrifying.
Teenage Hector is a skeptic when he starts his shift, until he sees the spirit of a dead girl. But it gets worse. A different entity manifests.
God, I'm just sorry. I got chills. And
this spirit is much angrier. Suddenly, she disappears.
maybe it was just my mind was just playing tricks on me. I can't believe it's actually, happening to me. Being a non-believer, it was, is it really real? Is this really happening? I don't want to see it. I don't want to believe it. I kind of put it away.
Turning a blind eye isn't working.
You get that creepy feeling where I feel like something's watching me. And then she's behind me. I never look behind me. I never look.
She will not be ignored.
It was just piercing into my soul.
You look like you're scared now.
Yeah. It happened when I was 18 years old. I'm sorry. It's
upsetting.
It's just something that I can't deal with, but I do it. Still to this day, when I speak about it, it still scares me because I can still remember her look.
Did it feel like she wanted to hurt you?
Yes.
That night, Hector manages to escape, physically unscathed.
And at that moment, I left.
But the emotional scars still run deep.
It happened. I had to face the truth. I had to face the fact that it happened to me. So I still went on as a non-believer, but inside, deep down inside, I knew it was real.
Did you want to quit at this point?
I was still contemplating, should I quit? Should I leave? But something kept me there.
His desire to know the truth is greater than his fear. So he returns to the hotel looking for answers. He seeks out the maintenance man.
The real kicker for me was I didn't tell him what I saw. I never told him about the woman. He asked me, he goes, "Did you ever experience the woman in the mirror?"
Let me guess. You saw the maid.
I'm sorry. He told me that she was a maid at the hotel. She'd already been having problems with her fiance. And one day, during the day, she was working, and he had gone in there and just stabbed her, murdered her, and left her there to die.
A lot of times when you have an earthbound spirit, they hold on to that emotion that they died with. In this case with the maid, she died with a lot of anger after being murdered by her boyfriend. I think she's become attached to the building itself. It's just like the little girl.
This hotel's haunted. She's not the only one of them.
It's very common for malevolent spirits to be attached either to the earth itself or to a building.
Hector isn't interested in any more otherworldly encounters.
It took me a while to finally say, you know what, I don't want to see it. As they say, curiosity killed the cat.
He's not risking his life tonight. He goes to get his things to leave. But as he tries to open the door,
I could hear like a tapping on the door. Kept staring at that door. Finally, I have the courage to open that door.
as Hector enters to grab his belongings, something awakens. While working the night shift, young Hector encounters the spirit of a deadly girl and an angry maid. As he tries to grab his belongings, something more terrifying waits on the other side of the door.
I kept hearing like a loud, kind of like a beep noise. I couldn't really tell you what it was.
And then another strange sound follows.
The breathing that just kept getting harder and harder, louder and louder.
He can't make any sense of it.
It felt like a man's breathing, but it felt like something that wasn't man. It's freaky, gives you the chills.
All Hector wants to do is escape, but something won't let him.
As I turn around, that's when I encounter I call him the Shadow Man. It was the shape of a human, but it wasn't misty. It wasn't like, smoky. It was just like I'm looking at a shadow. I didn't know what to do. At that moment, it's just like everything started recurring in my head again. A little girl, finding out about her death, feeling that terror with that woman, and now experiencing this. It's like, this is it. It felt like an ending to me. What was it? I don't know. Something that I knew that was standing right in front of me and wanted to cause harm. Next thing I know, I just remember when you're asleep and you feel like you're falling and you jolt and then you wake up. That's the feeling that I felt as I'm looking at the Shadow Man. And next thing I know, it knocked me down. I fell on my back and, I was out.
I would say at that point where Hector is being thrown down, that's a fairly large malevolent being. Hector was attacked, he blacked out, and actually had a physical experience. You could call it an extreme haunting.
Hey, you all right?
What brought me back was the maintenance man.
You okay, pal?
I got knocked out and I was out for about 2-3 hours. What happened, I have no idea. To me, it felt like I just fell down about a minute.
What did you see?
Was the Shadow Man still there?
I don't know where it went, if it went behind me, where it was at.
Hey.
Hector ends his hotel stay.
I didn't talk to nobody, I just left. I never looked back. Until this day, I still have never gone back. I think I went through a whole entire level of different spirit types. How many people can say they have actually experienced these things?
I think in this case that spirits are attached to the location. And the spirits don't want Hector to leave. I don't blame Hector for a moment for being absolutely terrified.
Are you a believer now?
How do you explain to somebody? How do you tell somebody that you know your friends, your family, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy? It was always better just to lock it away and wait for the right time for it to come out.
What are you hoping will happen by telling your story now?
Somebody else will come and say something, or they'll come forward about it. But I know that hotel has a secrecy, and they hold on to their stuff tight. I just hoping that whoever is working there now, the future, or in the past, as I was, would know that they're not the only ones that went through this. They're not alone.